And we're recording.
We're recording.
I'm Abdulaziz al Tayar. I'm a racing driver. I race Formula 4 cars. I recently turned 18. And yeah, I just love to inspire people as much as I can, help drive this generation forward to reach new heights and go far beyond what we think is possible. As much as I love to inspire people, I'm very, very inspired by many more. The reason I am who I am today is because of those people who have inspired me. I'm a very religious person, and God is very close to me. I'm very close to God, alhamdulillah. And without Him, I would not be who I am today at all. Do the chef's technique because no one knows I cook, so yeah. Social media. It's very fun. There's a good and a bad side. So there's that side where it's just nonsense, where things that drive you crazy, and there's that side that motivates you and really drives you to go forward and achieve things you never thought was possible. I hate it so much, you can't imagine. Because to excel in it, you have to go through good and bad, and you always face two sides. There's always two sides of everything. The bad side is really harsh and it's really hard on you, but to me, I just cancel that out. I forget it and just keep on doing it. The reason I hate it is because, from my perspective and my experience, people are very reliant on your numbers on social media, and if you want to reach out to people or if you want people to perceive you in a certain way, your numbers always matter. And to build those numbers, you have to go down a very deep rabbit hole, and some people go as far as exposing their personal life, exposing their home, their family out to random people, so you never know who's following you. There are many good people, but you never know. People are driven so far to just do what's unacceptable just to build the numbers of social media, and I think that's very wrong. And if I could change it, I certainly would. Nowhere near as much as before. Nowhere near, because Zaman, when you don't have something distracting you, you just focus on the moment. Your brain's focused on the person. You're looking at their eyes, you're listening to their voice, you're just feeling everything, you're seeing your surroundings, you're enjoying everything to the max because you don't have something distracting you. You're not waiting for a call or a message. You're not waiting to hear a ting so you can go and check your phone. That's part of social media, again, that makes me hate it so much, because Majid, it does slowly start to separate people from each other and separate those deeper connections, because our brains are already so flooded with so much information to the point that we can't process each other's information. Even though there's a very bad and dark side of social media, it has such an incredible upside, because social media allows you to connect with the world, to meet whoever you want, speak to whoever you want, have access to literally most human in this world. Social media allows you to make friends, build relations between each other. It built my career, and most of my relations came through social media. I think, good one. Potentially. I don't know, I can't say if it will or if it will not, but it certainly could. Because if it's everything we process in our minds, the first thing our mind sees and the last thing it sees, our mind slowly starts to become programmed with that. So it's very easy to drive people's opinions and perspectives towards things through social media. I think, never mind, it could. You understand how the mind works, how it processes information and understands it. You're going to see that social media is a very, very big factor, and it's a very powerful weapon that could be used against our minds. Yeah, I do feel that, you know, because at the end of the day, I know that the people who follow me and some who say they look up to me, they're people at the end of the day. And we all get driven by what we see, especially if someone we look up to agrees. So I always make sure that everything I put on social media benefits us all together, or at least inspires the people. Okay, it might be a picture of me doing something crazy, but I make sure as much as I can that it inspires everyone. I'll take the deepest one I can see. Okay. Emotions. Emotions are what we feel after something. So they're the outcome of something happening. They're the outcome of what our body and mind has processed. It's a bliss because you're there, you saw. The more you see, the better for you, because more experiences, more knowledge. Sometimes we might notice bad things, which sucks, but this is why notice. It's always notice things. It's amazing. Sometimes we don't want to notice the bad things, we really want to ignore them, but everything has something special behind it. I've been through depression. It's not a nice place. It's not a nice place at all. But there's just one thing that took me out. Two things, actually. The first thing, faith. Have faith in Rabbana. Depression is a negative emotion. Our body and our mind is reacting negatively to something that we cannot change. So having faith in Rabbana, knowing that He's in control of those things, knowing that He wants the best for you, give Him your faith and everything changes. The second thing is you, yourself, and your body. Be healthier. Change your environment. Most depressed people are in their room. That's what keeps them depressed. Or are going to the same places again and again and again, the same old circle. They kind of suppress it, and that's the wrong thing. That's what makes it worse. When you suppress it by replacing real emotions with temporary dopamine, you're gonna feel much worse when that dopamine is not there. You're gonna go much deeper down, and it's gonna start to take a toll on your health. That's just gonna destroy you. Replace dopamine with real dopamine, real pleasure, health, challenge, struggle, but the reward and the outcome gives you a lifetime of dopamine every time you remember that moment. Growth. Suffering is how we grow. Why are we even here? Because life's a test. So if you want good outcome, complete the test. Suffering is the process of completing one of the answers. But why? Is it just because God wants us to have bad before good? No. It's because that suffering is what builds you, makes you stronger. Pain is always there. You will never forget the day you felt the worst pain. At the same time, you'll never forget the day you felt the best. The worst pain I felt was the depression I went through. So it was before racing. It was very tough. I fell into this deep fear of losing. My mother lives abroad, so I'd always worry about her because I'm not there to protect her. I was so zoomed in. I felt like I was in the deepest hole. I couldn't even see the light at the top. That's how deep I felt. And that came with faith. And that's what took me out of that hole. That one's something I'm still working on. Controlling the way we process that information is controlling basically our emotions. Oof. It was recently. Okay, honestly, like my sleep was horrible. I hadn't exercised for like a week, and I lost both my great-grandmother and my great-grandfather the same week. Allah yarhamhum. Men don't cry, whatever. Look, I don't give a shit, man. If I'm sad, I'm gonna cry. I don't care. Idiots. الصراحة يعني. Yes, very much. That was my whole aim in racing. Because when you're racing, you can't have any emotions. You just need to be like a robot, no emotions. The reason robots perform better than us is because they don't have emotions. But when I'm around people, emotions are very important. Honest criticism, not based off of how we feel about ourselves. Because many times when we criticize people, sometimes it's a reflection of our own self. Family. Family. Doesn't have to be just your blood, it can be anyone. But family are really important because they're the most people who are around you. And they're the people who you could speak to when you're down. They're the people who remind you who you are as a person. It's very important to stay close to family. Being cared for, that's really important. Being loved, طبعاً, that's being listened to. Being there, that's the most important one. Being there, because when there's no presence, when there's no connection between each other, when your parents aren't there to teach you and talk to you together and listen to you and agree with you, at that point it doesn't become love, it just becomes parent. And that's where love is lost from family. It is pretty important, I admit. To me, like a hug is like heart to heart. And for some reason, it always just puts a spark in you, makes you feel happy, and it just reminds you that you have someone there. Give hugs. Remind each other that you're there. Remind each other that you're all human. You're my son, I'm your father, but I'm a human. I want you to listen to me the same way you want me to listen to you. Especially for the parents. Your kids are not robots. The best parents will treat their kids like their friends because it gives their kids a reason to listen to you. But eventually, it helps them grow enough. Because now, they're not just listening to my dad, they're listening to my friend. And that's what changed my relationship with my father, made it so powerful. Without my father or my mother, I'm sorry, I'd be a mess. This is my most important message. The same way you want us kids to thank our parents, why don't you thank them? You brought them to this world. They didn't choose to be here. It was a struggle to bring them and raise them. Sometimes we also have to give them gratitude for living through that and accepting the challenges of life, because we brought them life. Family is you. You are family. Life isn't life without a family. That's what you have to understand. And whether it's your blood or not, having people around you is the biggest gift you will ever have. You can have everything in the world. Everything. But if you don't have family, wallah, you will not enjoy it. Life starts with family. Fun.
Your face was not fun.
Was it not fun? Okay, I'll do fun again. Probably Monica Bellucci when she was around my age. Definitely a very fun trip. Dead or alive, the Prophet, also Sayyidina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Steve Jobs, Joey Diaz, sorry. First thing I do is teach them how to learn. That's something not many schools do, is teaching us the right form, right way to learn and process information. Another thing is independence, how to be independent from a very, very young age before the teen. Your strongest dreams are definitely the things you think about the most. Those are the dreams you really feel. I think dreams are just made up by the thoughts, by what you think, and what you think is what's happening around.
If you could choose a new name for yourself, what that name would be and why?
It's very boring, but I love Ferrari, so it would probably be Enzo, because it sounds really nice. I like Horatio, because it's just a nicer name. It sounds like interesting, and usually people with those names are geniuses. Horatio al Tayar.